and welcome to another episode of Waste Management. I'm out here at the Miami-Dade campus garden, raised beds here. Today, like I promised, we're actually going to be looking at peppers. Going to go over the different varieties, different types, and then later we're going to go actually in the studio and we'll talk about how to prepare them. Professor Patton was supposed to be out here with me. I guess he couldn't find this place. I don't know. Anyway, so let's start with the peppers. We'll talk about the few types. The bed I'm standing over now, this is actually a bed of hot peppers. We have 3 different varieties out here. One starting, the camera is on right now. This pepper actually, the seeds were brought back from Amsterdam, believe it or not. This is actually called a penis pepper. It's supposed to look like a penis, but, well, I don't know. That's up to your decision. It's a hot pepper. Mildly hot, hotter than a jalapeno, but not super hot. Then we have the other type, which are the red. These are actually jalapeno peppers. Pretty good, very, very fleshy, very nice fleshy meat on this one, as compared to the penis pepper there, which is very thin-skinned, which this is actually milder and has a better flavor. Actually, peppers are native to North America, or should I say Central South America, excuse me. Actually from Mexico. In Mexico they're called chile. Here we call them pepper. I was actually reading and it said pepper was actually, Christopher Columbus came up with the name, and it's kind of a very poor choice because there's no distinction between this and the spice pepper that we use. So anyway, it's just pepper, whatever. Okay, so again, with the peppers, they're in the genus capsicum. So they're all capsicum with a different species. As for these peppers, the hot peppers, they have a substance in them called capsicum. Capsicum actually is measured in Scoville units. The higher the Scoville unit, the hotter it is. We have sweet peppers over there, bell pepper, which I'll take you over to momentarily. That's the only pepper which actually has no capsicum in it. They're not hot. This actually, you can actually take it when you eat them, when you prepare them, when you cut them open. I regret doing this because it gets all over your hand. If you notice, there are tons of seed inside, and then attached to the seed you have aril. That's the hottest part. So if you want to get away mildly, basically you peel it open. Try to get rid of all the veining. Like even that vein in there, that's hot. So get rid of that. And now, if you just have that part's relatively not nearly as hot as the seed would be or the aril it's attached to. So that's with the hot peppers. You can see this is fully ripe. It's a nice red color. They start out green. This particular type goes from green to, notice, is starting to get purple. They actually get a purple color. Then they get the deep red. So it's actually quite nice. It's ornamental as well. Then we also have this pepper here, which, notice the shape is different. This is more round. It is again a hot pepper. I think this is even milder than the jalapeno, but it's a nice little pepper. There are actually hundreds and hundreds of different varieties of pepper. So there are some that are grown that are simply ornamental because they're pretty. And there are some, most of them are actually used for cooking purposes. Why don't we walk over to the bell pepper so we can see what that one looks like. This way, please. Okay, this is a standard bell pepper. As you can see, not ripe yet. When they're ripe, they will turn red, yellow, purple. There are even some that turn brown. But green is the color when they are immature. They can be used at any stage, of course, for cooking. And these are sweet. Again, like I said earlier, they contain no capsicum, so they're simply sweet, not hot. As far as growing peppers, I have grown these. I've actually had them in my yard where the plants lasted 3 years. However, they produce most heavily the first year, and then the crop goes down, down, down. That's with the sweet peppers. The hot peppers, however, are a totally different story. Let me take you over to another one. This plant is actually 2.5 years old. I want you to see how large and productive they actually can get. Okay, this plant over here is actually 2.5 years old. Look at the size of it. Look at all the fruit of it. It looks like Christmas. It is so beautiful. We have, this is actually 2 plants. The red one seemed to have taken over. There's also a yellow form which is down here, which is not as productive, it appears to be. This is a Scotch bonnet pepper. These are super hot. I am not going to take one. I am not going to break it open with my hand. I made the mistake once I did that, and then I wiped the sweat off my face and it started to burn. So I don't mess with these. I know in Caribbean cooking this is like, wow. Personal preference, I don't care for them. Also, the flesh is very thin on this. It's not fleshy. It's not like the jalapeno. I have a preference, of course. I like mildly hot. But look at this plant. It's 3-year-old and it's quite ornamental. I would actually call this an ornamental plant. You could actually take it and plant it. You know, I don't see why you couldn't make a hedge of these things. They really are that beautiful. And it does produce throughout the year. And seed, when you break them open, just collect the seed, plant the seed, and it'll grow. The way to plant these, actually they like well-prepared soil. They actually like soil. Here we're using a soil mix, which you can actually see in here. So it's actually a synthetic soil, and they seem to love it. You can also plant it directly in the ground. That's fine as well. Normally what is done, you take the seed, you start the seed in the house or basically in a pot with the prepared soil. Once the plants get to about 6 inches tall, you can then plant them outside. And they will grow, they will take off, they will do very well. The hot pepper type, for some reason, the insects tend to stay off of it as well. Just like I'm afraid of it, it seems the insects also respect it as well. So it really is a very nice plant. And if you are looking for pepper, remember I said there are many varieties. You could even get, there are some which are called bird's eye. Some of the bird's eye are red, they're small, they are super hot, they're even much hotter than these. When we go inside, we'll talk to Tim. Hopefully he'll be able to tell us about the Scocal units, how to prepare them, and all that. I know how to grow them. I can tell you what to do and all that. So anyway, you get it out, basically water as needed, fertilize as needed. But these have not been sprayed. They're organic. So they actually have not been sprayed with any pesticide, any chemicals, and look how healthy the plant looks. 2.5 years old. And simply covered with fruit. Dynamite plant. Okay, why don't we, well, I'll actually pick some, then we're going to go inside, and we'll actually talk to Tim, and hopefully he'll tell you how to prepare them. Okay, see you inside.
Fresh thinking is being served at Miami-Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.
Hi, welcome back to Waste Management. We're now here in the lab, and look who I have with me.
Hey.
He finally showed up. Thank you. Well, we did pick some of the peppers outside, and we did bring them inside. We have a nice assortment here. I tried to kind of line them up from Sweet to don't touch. Okay, so they're that here.
Yeah, Steve, let me make a quick comment. Peppers are a wonderful sort of bridge back to our original title of this series, Waste Management. Not only are they low in calories and high in nutrients, and I'll get into that as we go through, but they do one thing that lots of other vegetables can't. They impart flavor to a food, so you don't need to add sugar, fat, and then again sodium, even though it's not a calorie issue, it's still a flavoring issue. You could make something sweeter with a sweet pepper. You could make something intermediate with some of the other peppers. And obviously, the hot peppers have their own value to both flavor and enhance appetite.
Yeah, what flavor? I mean, I think these had great flavor.
Again,
this adds heat and...
Okay, but this is very important. Especially in warmed weather climates, they grow best in hot areas.
Yes.
And the purpose in eating them is actually they are so hot, they cause the body to sweat, which then causes evaporative cooling and the body cools down, which allows you an appetite to eat food. They are actually an appetite enhancer because they cool the body down. So you will see the hot peppers in the hottest areas of the world.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
And then they impart the same nutritive value as the sweet peppers do. And the sweet peppers sort of grow as we get away from the equator, a little bit further into cooler areas. But they have their own flavor, which is sort of a sweetness.
You're talking about hotness, the Scoville units. Tell us about those puppies. Tell us about them. What's the scale?
The scale is, well, that it has some imprint on your tongue. Those are the very mild. Most of you have had those when you order a pizza. They come with those mild jalapenos. Okay. And those values are low-level values. But as you get through the hot peppers, there are huge numbers with some of the peppers that tell you eat at your own risk. Okay, basically it's going to burn your tongue, you're going to have all kinds of reactions, and if you can in fact consume it, bless your heart, it will still be painful as it passes through you, and in many cases quite quickly.
Okay, I was looking, these are supposed to be like 200,000?
Those are hot.
Yes,
these are the ones that, should you cut these open and then get some of the inside secretions on your hand, it will burn.
Funny you mention that here.
And then, if you make the fatal mistake of, while you're slicing those without gloves on, you then do something as we're all prone to do, which is touch different body parts. Rub your eye. Don't rub your eye. It will literally burn the top layer of your skin off.
No, when I was outside, I even broke one of those open and I wiped my brow for sweat and I felt the burning.
Yes.
So,
that's the hotness. Now, that's the bad news. But the good news is you're going to taste that when you mix that with something. Okay, let's start with this. So I break it open, and I was told most of the heat is in the seed, correct? Oh yes, which means the outside peel, which we think of as the pepper, if you were to scrape the seeds out, would still have a slight hotness to it, but you would be able to taste other flavors.
Yeah, I was told the arrow, which is this whitish color part in there, is hot as well.
Right.
So I was told to get rid of that and just eat the
outside.
Which, let's see how bad it is. That's actually very pleasant.
Okay, that
is very nice.
Yeah, that's in the lower end of, but again,
I'm a wimp. I love it.
Now, the red peppers, they have some slightly different nutrients than something like the green peppers, and that's just what you would expect. Here, there are some antioxidants.
Are they more nutritious than a regular bell pepper, green sweet pepper?
Potato. This has some things like folate that are very valuable that this would replace now with some things in the xanthine family.
Okay.
So they're both beneficial, They're just different.
Okay.
Now, they all have one thing in common, bless their hearts, and that is they're all high in vitamin C. The red peppers are higher in vitamin C than not only the green or yellow or orange, but anything.
Yeah, I think I was watching a news or something, and they said one red pepper is equivalent to like 10 oranges or something?
It's off the chart. And again, it's one of those things that then justify it as not just part of the meal, but part of an ingredient for whatever you can put it in. If you're making a casserole of spaghetti sauce, a salad, a little bit of red pepper, nutritionally speaking, goes a long way. The green are better than most, just not compared to the red. Okay.
See, what I like about the jalapeno, that type, look how thick the skin is, the flesh is. That's really a nice pepper. When we get to these two...
And the interesting, you can taste a little bit of sweetness at the tip of the tongue.
Yeah, no, they're very good.
And then it starts burning as it goes back. Okay.
I mean, this is our penis pepper.
I have a question for you. Get ready.
I'm ready.
So, Professor, are penis peppers the pickled peppers Peter Piper picked a peck of?
Could be.
Okay.
What?
Just thought I'd ask.
Okay, I'm not going there. Let's try this.
Okay, these are good. These would be good in a lot of dishes.
Try that. No, it's not that bad, but it doesn't have the sweet undertone
to it.
These are really good.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one I won't say even.
No, yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, these are very. You could see the flesh is a little thicker, but no.
No. This one will leave for one will leave for Tony.
Yeah, exactly. There's something I don't like messing with. I mean, the sweet pepper's dynamite.
Okay.
I mean, that obviously.
Yes. And again, this is something that grows well in Florida. Growing up here, we had pepper season. We had tomato season and pepper season. Of course, they're both those night vegetables. And I mean, this was a major market years and years and years ago, from Homestead on up. They grow great in South Florida climates.
Yeah, and they could even last a few years to plant, which is nice. One thing people should take note of, though, with these is that if you are growing a sweet pepper and you're growing it next to a hot pepper, the outer flesh will be sweet. The seed, if you put it in cooking, will be hot. So if you cross it with one of these,
oh my God,
yeah, you'll be unpleasantly surprised. So just eat the outer flesh and you're fine.
Can you do that here in our garden? Because
yeah, of course.
I have people I'd like to give that for Christmas presents too. That would be a riot, by the way.
Okay, I mean, it's quite doable.
Okay, those are wonderful. That green pepper is wonderful. Good job.
Oh, I know, they're better when they're red. I think so.
You
They're
and
much
nature
better
did a
when they're
good
red.
job on that one, dude.
There you go. Dynamite. Okay, so with pepper, so Scoville units, basically, the higher the hotter. They use that for, the tear glass too? Yes? Or what's it called? Mustard. What's that stuff called?
Mustard gas. Mustard,
Or
yes.
mace.
Yes.
Okay.
This is what burns the heck out of you when you're sprayed with mace. This is some of what they have used previously in some of the gases during wartime were no longer allowed or supposed to be allowed to use. This is a very toxic substance. I mean, it irritates dermatitis, the linings of mucus. I mean, this is something that...
But I was also reading, is this true that they say hot peppers are good for an ulcer? Because it actually inhibits the bacterial growth.
It certainly does that, yes. And then that's what most people fail to recognize about ulcers. It's not caused by simply acid irritating a part of the membrane, the mucous membranes that line the stomach, or even more so, the intestinal tract. It is actually a bacterial infection that then, and this will help decrease those bacteria.
Okay, let me ask some questions about cooking with the thing, something
Great.
I would not know what to do. Okay, I mean, green peppers I can handle, this I can, I mean, okay, cooking.
Okay. Once again, lots and lots of cuisines have used this. From obviously in our hemisphere, what we think of as Mexican cuisine would have some flavoring of hot peppers. As you go around the equator, lots of those countries will be incorporating this in one form or another. India.
So Columbus brought this over and then it spread from, I guess, Europe.
Or we had some of our own here. That this is one of those interesting plants that we have been using so long, nobody really knows the origin.
No, they said, no, the origin they actually are saying is from South America, is from Central South America.
Particularly the hot ones.
Because it's solanaceous, yes. Solanaceae,
but like this tomatoes. Is used in Indonesia cuisine. This is used in Chinese cuisine. When you order something and it has those little indicators that it is hot, it is almost always some form of these peppers or extracts that have been added. Okay. Again, you can mix it with things. India has curry, but there are hot curry dishes, and there are curry dishes. Okay, and so
when you cook with them, though, do you use the flesh? Do you use the seed? Do you use the arrow? What part do you use? Use the whole thing?
On something like this, the hottest one, I've taken my gloves off, so I don't want to touch it. On the hottest ones, use the flesh. Clean the seeds out, and then use sparingly. Okay, even down here on these, and again, these are just beautiful, dude.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
They're just wonderful.
They look fake.
And again, they have that unique ability to first stimulate the sweetness on the, and then they burn on the way back. You could use the seeds in those depending on how hot you wanted to make it. You didn't, but you don't need to. Okay. General rule of thumb, clean the seeds out, clean the inside out, use the fleshy outer parts.
Okay, so generally in cooking, most people would utilize the flesh.
The flesh only, right.
Dynamite. And you said color, the darker the color. Okay, these are orange. Orange is high vitamin C as red, or?
They're high in vitamin C, but where these have the xanthine derivative, an antioxidant, these have the carotenoids. That one has a little bit of both, including a little bit of vitamin E, and then it sort of goes around depending again on the coloring aspect of it.
So what are they, health benefits of eating these guys?
Peppers as a group are suggested to be one of the top 10 healthiest foods in the world.
Sweet or hot?
Sweet or hot. Wow. Because they all contain similar nutrients. Vitamin C in particular, vitamin A, vitamin E, riboflavin, which is not found in all that many vegetable foods, folate, which is not found near enough in our diet. So when you go through, they all have the nutritive value, but then again, different taste. So some may have a little bit more of the carotenoids, some may have a little bit more folic acid. Certainly red have lots more vitamin C, but there's no bad thing. They are one of the healthiest foods. In fact, if you take a look at some of the things we've done, like the kale show, that's considered one of the 10 healthiest foods. Tomatoes, or tomatoes. My wife says, hato, hatato.
That would be a red tomato.
That would be a red tomato. Those are considered one of the 10 healthiest foods. Now, is there a debate about this? Who cares? Anybody who, if you're in mention for the 10 healthiest foods, you're a healthy food. And so there's no going wrong with adding these. Again, almost every cuisine has some form of them as a very common usage. Green peppers can be stuffed in Eastern European. Red peppers in the Mediterranean, like Italy, are roasted. And that's, roasted red peppers is a major part of sort of their meals as they serve vegetables.
See, the nice thing, even if you have a balcony, you can grow these in a pot on your balcony, and to really mess up your friends like you want to do, you can actually plant a real hot one next to a sweet one and give them one of the sweet ones with the hot seeds.
I just love that idea. Okay, you're being nice,
so
but
indeed we can do that. Okay, so basically, so we can grow them at home, which is nice and easy. It's very healthy. Plant lasts for a year. A matter of fact, with some of these, there are some that are simply grown because they're ornamental.
Okay, that would be cool.
The little bird's eye, and they come in like even lavender color fruit.
Right, those are so cool.
They come in all different colors,
yes.
so wonderful. And those, if you have a pet bird, you could feed to the bird.
Unless it's really hot. No,
no, the birds are fine with that. For some reason, birds they can't, the hotness doesn't bother them. I don't know what their thing is. But no, I mean, I've had a parrot and I've given it really hot that I won't touch, and the bird is like, give me more. So I don't understand. Anyway, okay, so let's try to sum things up here. So basically, easy to grow.
Cool.
Okay, very nutritious. You can pull pranks on people.
Even better.
When you cook with them, you said remove the seed, remove the aril, and normally you're using the flesh, and used in cooking just across the board.
Across the board.
Okay. So virtually anything, nutritious, anything you want to add?
These were one of the most popular eaten foods for years and years and years. But now that people aren't really cooking at home, at most they have been sort of added attractions, either at a salad bar or something you get in a bar game. And if people would go back to just simply eating foods, they would find lots of uses for lots of peppers.
Okay, so our goal is to push peppers.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you all for tuning in again for another episode of Waste Management. Enjoy the peppers, grow them, eat them, use them for cooking, and one of the top 10. Thank you for watching.